working on a 2008 GMC Envoy, and the problem is that the rear wiper and the rear license plate lights are not functioning. So we come in here to the fuse box. You want to check the relay number 39. Here's this. So relay 39 is this one right here. And the easiest way to do that is to swap it with relay 40, which is the horn. Just flip them back and forth and make sure that the horn works when you swap those over to make sure the relay is good. The next step, you want to come check the other fuse that's behind the driver's seat underneath the rear driver's seat here. So according to this, fuse number 9 is the rear wiper. So let's take a look at that fuse, which would be this one right here. So we'll pull it and do a continuity check real quick. So put your multimeter on continuity, and then we'll just test these. See if I can do this. Oh, you can hear. Here, I'm using an alligator clip on it. There you go. You can hear we've got continuity between the two. Before you put the fuse back in, we want to make sure that we've got power coming into this lead. So there's a bolt right here. Get a good ground to it, and then just test, make sure that the light's coming on. So we've got power coming into the unit, so we can send it out the other side of the fuse back to the wipers. We'll put the fuse back in and come to the back. So we do need to make sure that we've got a good ground. So I've got it hooked down here to the hitch. Up here on the door, there are some okay grounds, but I did verify that this one was a good working ground. And one thing we want to make sure is that you've currently got the lights on and the key in the on position while you're running these tests. So I took off the driver's side rear tail light. It's just 2 screws, comes out. And then just so you're aware, the black wires, the ground, the brown wires, the hot. So right now with the lights turned on, we should get lights on our test light. Okay, so plug it into the lead with the brown wire that comes in, which is the middle. Make sure you get power coming in. So up here, this is one of the connectors for the license plate light. There's another one, but it's tucked away behind the rear wiper motor. But we can take a check on this one and look for power coming into this one. So we just unplug it, and then you want to make sure you have the side that's got the power coming to the wire, which comes around this wire lead. So we're going to test again the brown, which is our hot, on this one as well, just like it was for the tail light. In this case, there is no power coming to this lead, so the light switch is turned on and the key is in the on position, and through this brown wire we should have voltage coming through, but we do not, so we have to find out where the break is. Also, this panel right here, you need to remove this upper panel, the upper panel that comes through here. These trim pieces need to pop off, and then this whole unit will just pop off so you can get to all this stuff from back here. For the wiper motor portion of this, this is our plug, and then just come up here. You have to kind of get behind it, unclip it, and the same thing. We're going to have a black that's going to be a ground, and then this orange should be our constant hot, and then the green, I believe, is the switch wire. But we'll double check and see if we have any power coming into this. Again, we've got the key in the on position, and the wiper, rear wiper motor is turned on the dash. Still connected to our ground. Coming up here, we're just going to probe into this, and you can see there is no power coming into this one. We'll check the other one next to it. Also no power. So we've got something somewhere that's probably broken, since our fuses are good and our taillights are working. But also this is a separate issue that does not run off the taillights, but we've got a problem somewhere in the power. The next step would be to pull this boot down here and kind of go through these wires, testing each one individually for power. We do know that the brown wire coming in here is the same wire that once you pull back this panel here, you can trace it, and it shows down there, it goes to the tail light. So if you just pull any section of this wire back here, find the brown wire, you gotta kind of roll it around a little bit. So you can probe into that and verify if you have power there or not. So if you've got power there, we want to keep coming and tracing it up. If you don't have power, your tail light probably isn't working, but we'll keep tracing it back up. And this goes up this way until we've got more wires that go in up here. So what's interesting is when I was back probing with my test light, I found there was no power. There was no power to two of these wires, this orange wire and this brown wire. However, when you pull this down here, I found that there was in fact power coming into all of these that came down here. The three orange wires and the brown wire all had power. So up here there was not, down here there was, and there's this bend right here that these wires are prone to breaking after so many years. So this brown wire, actually I just gave it a tug and it pulled right out. This orange wire, I had to go ahead and cut, but it was basically just dry rot, if you will, and there's no power. So this should have power and this should have power. So what we're going to do to fix that is we're just going to put new jumper wire. So you've got power to this light, to this right here. So we're just going to bridge those across, wire them, and then we'll double check our work. Just wanted to show you the setup of trying to fish these wires through here. It's kind of a pain in the butt. This boot's real sticky and it's got a very small opening. So I eventually was able to fish an old coat hook through here, run the wires through it, and bend it over. And now I'm going to pull it through slowly, trying not to damage any other wires in the process. I'm trying to leave this boot hole to keep it from getting weathered. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so just had to be real slow and easy with it, and it did pull through. So I'm going to go ahead and finish working them through now. I wanted to point out this wire right here is really hard through here. So when I cut this to splice it, I'm going to cut it back to where it starts to kind of loosely bend on its own, so the wire shouldn't be too corroded or worn or whatever happened, overheated. That's really hard right there, and that's not going to splice well. Okay, so my connections were made. I also decided to put a black marker on one of the wires so I could verify that the orange and the black was going to this orange with this black on the red, and this is the brown one. Also needed to notate that when I was doing the wiring, the key was off, the lights were off, so there wasn't any power coming down through it. Okay, so now we are back to key on, lights on, so we can check for power where we previously did not have power. Alright, we got power there, and then let's check our orange wire that we fixed over there. And we've got power again, so we'll get these plugged in and verify that they worked. Alright, so we've got the lights working, and we got the wiper working. So it's a fix. Now we just need to button up all the wiring, make it look pretty, and tape it up. So just be careful when you're tucking these wires back up in here. There's some metal around them, so you want to tuck them up in that hole and then get your roof liner back in. So hope it fixes your problem for you.